Hi, my name is Greta Thunberg. I am a 16-year-old Swedish climate and environmental activist. Right now I'm going to take a sabbatical year from school, a gap year, to focus on my activism and to try to make as much difference as I possibly can. And I plan on doing that by continuing like I'm doing now and to just do everything I can, because I have promised myself that I'm going to do everything I can as long as I can. I can always go school 1 year later, that doesn't really matter, but if we don't do anything right now, this coming year, then we have a smaller chance of succeeding and preventing the worst consequences of the climate crisis. So I just think that there's no more time to wait. I spoke in the British Parliament a few months ago, and there I was quite harsh. And the reactions were very mixed. Many of the MPs were happy that I had said that, and many of them were very confused and very awkward. And there were some very awkward laughs during the speech because they didn't know how to react. And I think that is quite hilarious to see, that they don't know how to respond because they aren't used to that kinds of speeches. I think it was a week after that and after the Extinction Rebellion in London when they declared a national climate emergency in the Parliament. And so that, I think, at least at that time, I thought that was a proof that they had listened. But then a few weeks went by without real action happening. So, of course, everything is back to normal. So, which is unfortunate, but we have to do more and we will have to go on. I don't really know. I don't think I would say anything to him because, he's obviously not listening to the science, to the scientists nor the experts. So, what could I say to change his mind? I would say that we need a movement to do this together, because one person can't change his mind, so we need to do that together. My dad sometimes tends to try to tone them down. He's a bit worried that I might say anything bad, which I'm already doing, but he's still scared. I remember when I was addressing the Secretary General of the United Nations, and I was talking like, what's the point of going to school if we don't have a future? And he was like, no, you have to take this out. You can't say to the Secretary General that you don't want to go to school or that there's no point in going to school. I did erase that and printed it without it, but then I remembered when it was during the speech, so I added it while I was speaking, so that he wouldn't have anything to say about it. So. The single fact that worries me the most is that we have a very limited and extremely rapidly disappearing carbon budget, which no one seems to know exists. But according to the IPCC, in 2018, the 1st of January, if we have about 66% chance of staying below the 1.5 degree limits, we had then 420 gigametric tons of CO2 to emit. And now, of course, we have even less than that. If you include land use, we emit about 40 gigametric tons CO2 per year. And if we continue like now at the same emission level, we have about 8 or 9 years left with business as usual before we have used up that budget. According to the latest IPCC report, by approximately the year 2030, we will be in a position where this climate catastrophe will become irreversible. And I don't know if I am hopeful that we will make it. I am nor an optimist nor a pessimist. I say I'm a realist, that if we do the changes required according to science, it is still possible within the laws of physics to avoid the worst. But if we don't do the changes required, then maybe not. I think that we will have to do everything in our power to make the changes required possible, and that, as I say, to do your best is no longer good enough. We now have to do the seemingly impossible.